friends, this is Jazz, bringing you another My Opinion with my brand new webcam now. This opinion is sort of mixed up a little bit, so you may only see one of my hands. Okay, yeah, I'm working this out. But pretty much this opinion is going to be on commenters. Now, I've never had this issue with my channel very much as it is. Anyway, stop correcting yourself, Jazz. Just talk the way you naturally talk. But I've seen plenty, yeah, I'm getting used to this headset. But I've seen plenty of commenters on several videos bringing stuff up, and for that sake I want to kind of go on about it. What I mean is, people who feel they have a right go and put their opinion on other people's lives. Like, a good example is, a lot of you know this who are fans of this channel, Gabe and Jess, for example, or Jess Fam as she is now known. She's having a great life now, and I praise her for that and how strong she is. For those doubters, are like, there's people who go like, she went from one boy to another, so who's the next baby daddy? I mean, are they kidding? I mean, I'm not going to go right into the comments and say this, but I do want to have my opinion. It's not just on her. I could probably think of a few others just about comments and people who talk in general. I mean, everyone does have a right to their opinion, but sometimes they got to think before they give it. Like, how it's going to affect others. Like, for example, Jess has had a few... Maybe she has had 3 significant partners within her channel's running time, but, like, so what? Like, from what it's told, it's not like it was really her fault, like, what happened, like, with every other guy. She's finally happy with someone who really does seem like a good guy, and people are all going, I wonder how long this relationship will last. I mean, like, we'll just say the point is that we don't know how long it's going to last. But let them be. If they break up in a year, 5 years from now, they do. If they don't, well then it's something they really should be happy for. Another couple examples. I know you guys might hate me for this, saying this, but this is really nothing on them, right? It's more on the commenters on them. For example, the Daily Bumps are who I'm talking about. One in particular video I watched about Oliver's 3-month update, Olive, like their oldest son. There was this one particular person, thank God I forget the person's name because I'm not getting into that, and I never got into that in the comments, saying, oh, he's severely delayed, his speech is bad, anyone in my country would not get a check on this thing, this test of passing, being able to communicate his feelings directly with others. Like, and she said that is for 22 months, and he's 3. And there had been some people in there saying that he does seem to be off, and like this other person said that anyone who isn't potty trained, and I mean, at that time Oliver was. Like, maybe just, but he was. But her point, I guess, was, in her opinion, that anyone who isn't potty trained and has like that usually ends up in special ed or has special needs. And I am not saying he does or he doesn't. But if he ends up having special needs, they will tell us. Well, to what they feel is safe to tell us. It's up to them to say something, not to any of us. We always see a short, snippet every day of their lives. And we can't say what Oliver's capabilities are, what they do with him to help him with things he has trouble with. We can't really judge any of that, because one thing is that he is happy, his brother, the family is happy, they're healthy, and that's what's important. And, as I said, and even if Missy or Brian come out saying Oliver has had some speech problems, for example, then even if that is confirmed, we shouldn't go any further into it. Just join them on that journey too. For someone who can kind of relate, although the fact is I do have a disability, as I said, I know I've always had learning difficulties. Whatever the diagnosis is, since it's unknown for now, I know I do have a learning disability, just not 100% diagnosed of what. But for all my life, I was delayed. I never walked until I was about 3 years old. I wasn't potty trained. I know I'm saying this now. I wasn't potty trained till I was 5. Yes, but that is mostly because both of these were because of my hip. I had a physical disability too, but still, it took me, normally a kid will be potty trained about 2.5, maybe earlier for those who are ready. I was 5. I had some language delays. Despite what it sounds now, sometimes when I'm talking, saying these extravagant words, or these big words, as you may call it, my guidance counselor at one point said articulate was the word, or that I knew big words, as his translation for it. I had some difficulties in English and in reading at a point. So I know if Oliver does have a disability, I know where he is coming from, especially if being judged for what they can't do. And sometimes I wish people mind their own business. I tell them what I want to tell them. But anyway, back to my point. Another thing with the daily bumps, well, to bring back on this story, everyone who knows Ellie and Jarrett, they had given away an IVF grant to a winner for their 1 million subscribers. And it turned out that so many volunteers came forth that all 5 got to have, the 5 finalists got to get grants instead of 1. Then 2 other people came, and then 7, the 2 others that weren't announced but would have been the second 2 in line, if there's any, got grants. Now, bring back to what it means with the daily bumps. Some people say, well, but they have all this money, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to fix this. But they have all this money, right? And they're not donating a grant? They didn't. The daily bumps didn't, but a lot of us, including myself, are just thinking, okay, yes, they may have a lot of money. And yes, it may seem they buy a whole bunch of stuff and they can afford this and that, but think about it this way. Someone said, oh, but they could throw a party, but yet they're not helping with a grant. Well, for one, I don't think Ellie and Jarrett would expect them to do that. They didn't expect any of them to do that. And 2, a party is a lot different than an IV grant. Mind you, a party might cost maybe $10,000, $20,000 maybe, if it's really big. Where an IV grant, I think, would cost, like, more than that. Maybe in the 50,000s or more. And it has to be planned. Like, you have to know, like, you have to go through stuff to find out if it would be a good choice to do. Also, the Lannings have donated to other charities, like the, what is it? I forget the one, the Water for Life. That's it, the Water for Life. So people who say they don't care about no one but themselves. That is not true. And people may think about that more about them because that Ellie and Jared are their really good friends. So they thought maybe that they would be one of the first to jump on board. As I said, one, Ellie and Jared probably does not expect them to, even though they're good friends, and two, they understand too how hard it is to give a grant. They had to work hard to give a grant, and they built their house from the top. Like, yes, I know the difference is they gave the grant, but they had to, even with having all that money to build a house of their dreams, they had to scrounge up money to give that grant. So just because the Daily Bumps have quite a bit of money does not mean they can just hand out a grant. It is not that simple. This is more bit on the Daily Bumps than anything, but my point is there has been really cruel people saying untrue things about people. And I'm not saying that people are what they 100% see. We only see 15 minutes each day of certain people. I know. But from even those short little bits of what I see of these people, like, even Jess Pham, people will think, oh, she started this old channel to get famous. Oh, she was expecting to get pregnant, and maybe some of it's true. But what I know is, one, she is a good mother. Despite the fact she probably planned, especially the first pregnancy, she was a good mother to all 7, including her stepkids. She's good to all her kids. She has 5 now of her own, and on certain days she has her husband's 2 sons. So that's 7 children, and she manages all 7 of them. And not just like handles them, takes care of, you know what I mean? She does it with such patience. She's only 24 maybe, 24. She was only about a year and a half younger than me. But even me now, who's 25, would not have the maturity to do that, even with 1 kid. Even full-grown adults sometimes can't handle 1, 2 kids. She may have been 17, 18, actually, when she gave birth, when she had her first daughter, but ever since she had her daughter, maturity through the roof. She took care of what she had to around the house, took care of the kids, like when she had them. She managed to go back into school. Like, so whatever you say about her, in that way, there are more positives that outweigh that negative. So she makes money through YouTube. That's great for her. She can support her children more and still be a mother. Sometimes all of us wish we had that maturity. As I said, it's not just the Daily Bumps I'm defending, it's just the outlook in general of people you judge. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people who genuinely don't deserve it. Like, for example, people like Keemstar. He, despite sometimes the facades he puts on, Okay, he don't think he even really cares enough to put a facade on. He just goes out against people, and then no wonder he lost the rights to actually have his own channel. Like, when he had those channels, he broke every rule in the book. And with what he is now, any single thing of drama he gets, like, he goes at, like, what is it, cruelly. And that time with that older gentleman, the one that they thought was the pedophile, I'm sure he was just acting all upset with his staff and that to save his butt. I don't know how legitimately sorry he was. Like, okay, I know I might be judging there too, but there are exceptions to that. Like, when you think about it one way, everyone else that I talked about have shown at least some genuinity, or shows genuine personality, I'll just say, where Keemstar, showed what he was. Like, every video he did, he's not like he tried to put on a facade, so I can't say, oh, he might be a good person, when all he does is that. Everyone else are judging just on minor things that you could maybe find in a spot where the difference, or spot the abnormalities. Where Keemstar, the whole puzzle would be complete with him. You don't even have to try hard to find his faults. And some people do try to pick on other YouTubers, other people, but on the smallest things they don't like. Like, for example, I will admit, I did have a little issue earlier, but and I'm going to kind of make it public now while I'm going to this. I cannot be untruthful. I never put this in any comment section, and I would never, and I don't really mean it that way, because I know that they love animals, for example, but there was one little thing with the Daily Bumps I had a bit of a gripe about, and it was the fact that, well, as you all know, from probably Twitter and everything, by the time you see this, you would see it in the video, they got a new dog, don't know the name of it yet as I'm recording this, a new puppy for Christmas, for the kids. But previous to that, they were saying that they couldn't keep their cat, Surrey. And I understand, I'm not holding this gripe against them because I understand why they can't. But at the same time, I was with my aunt talking to her about this, and I'm like, well, what happens if this dog doesn't get along with Karma? What happens if this happens, for example? Another example happens. And if they can't keep this dog, like some people believe when you get an animal, it's forever, right? But I'm not going to keep this gripe against them for the reason that with Surrey, there really was a legitimate reason. There were predators where they live, like animals that could hurt Surrey. She was naturally an outdoor cat, and Missy had trouble getting her in, and she was just worried that something would happen to Surrey. And what she did is she already knew a good home. She gave him to her brother, where their kids could still see the cat, and it could still be family. So I liked the way she handled it there. And also, but there was another thing I was going to say, that another reason I'm not holding that gripe against them. I mean, I had a little bit of gripe too, because they also got rid of one of their chickens, their rooster. But he was genuinely a handful too. And they found a good farm that would keep him and he would be happy. So there were two instances there. But I suppose, hopefully they fought this over with the dog. And hopefully this time, it would happen a third time. Because, I mean, at least with Surrey and with Lenny, they called him, the rooster, Oliver wasn't overly attached to them because Surrey was outside so much and Lenny wasn't the nicest rooster. So I can understand that. But as I said, like, I hope that they fought through when they got this dog that Oliver could possibly get really attached to him, and how to handle it if something does not go right, because the dog is going to be more of an indoor dog. It's easier to control that. And, I mean, I can't also see really anything going wrong with the dog unless, one, for some reason, her and Karma do not get along, and two, the dog ends up becoming a vicious dog. And anything else I think they could handle with the dog, because they have a dog. So, let's hope that this new family member is permanent. This saying. But, besides all that, I can understand the reason they did, and I'm not judging them as a person for it. There are some people who probably would go right up saying, oh, you're getting rid of Surrey, you're getting a dog. Like, and I kind of felt that way at first. I mean, I'm not saying they are not good with the chickens and the dog they have, because Karma's been in the family a long time, and they know they're not getting rid of him. And the chickens haven't caused the issue. But then you kind of wonder, just inviting a new dog, a new puppy in the family, not knowing the behavior pattern of the puppy. The same thing with the cat. They did not plan to keep making it an outdoor cat. But with all the kids going in and out, it happened. So I hope that when they got this puppy, they sat down and thought of all the scenarios that could happen and what the plan would be if that happened. Like, from the beginning. And think of all the consequences if they were to have to get rid of it. Because, like, as it's coming over all my opinion, you know, so I apologize, but I think I'll end it here while I'm at it there. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video.